Hey guys, Kiko here. Another video answering your questions, another Q&A video. So the first question from Lobo Cass, what do you think about Slash? Well, Slash is the ultimate guitar hero, right? So he formed an iconic band. He wrote iconic riffs. He wrote iconic solos. He wrote the soundtrack of a generation, right? He has an amazing image on stage, and what else? Like great guitar tone. Man, he's the ultimate guitar hero. So I'm a big fan of Slash. Yeah, that was an easy answer, right? This one from Shadow 456376. Do you play capoeira? No, I tried, but no. Another one here from Stefan Verstraet. What is your strategy for improvising? Do you just think about the key you're in and let your ears guide you, or do you think about chord tones to target over each chord, etc.? It really depends on the situation. So is it a song? Then you have to, play a solo over 4 bars, 8 bars, 16 bars inside a song. Is it a vamp that you're going to improvise for a few minutes over one chord? Is it a complicated chord progression, a lot of chords, and then you have to improvise for a few minutes, like in a kind of a jazz fusion situation? So really, depends on those environments, right? I would say for a song, then you have a solo, and what I do, I would listen first. Instead of grabbing the guitar and just start improvising, I would listen to the part or to the and the entire song, because it might be that the melody of the intro or the chorus melody can help you to play a solo and that fits to the song. So many situations, but I would think, how can you start the solo? That's a very important thing. Is it the solo coming from a chorus? So how do you start that solo? Then it's still exciting, because the solo is the peak of the song. So how you jump in with your lead guitar, and then how do you finish? How do you complete your idea? And then for the next verse, for a bridge or chorus, so listening to the song, and then that empty space for your solo is something very important. So you can imagine stuff before you play. Because I know theory, I know the modes and all that, so I don't need really to think, analyze, and to discover which scale is there, because I kind of know already. So it might be important to write down the chords if it's a more complex chord progression, so you can look at it and say like, okay, this is Lydian, this is whatever, mixolydian, you have like a secondary dominant or whatever, and then so if it's very complicated chord progression, you might start with the chord tones and then understand possible melodies that you can play over those complicated chords. If it's a simple rock metal chord progression, you can go straight away to, okay, what kind of solo fits that song, and how you start, how you end the solo. How do you feel like it's going to be a lot of notes? It's going to be more melodic, So you can kind of picture different scenarios to the solo before you grab the guitar, So that's what I would do. That's what I recommend. If it's a situation that you're jamming and then it's your turn and you have to improvise, I would slowly feel the groove, play few notes, and understand what's going on and how you can build a solo while you're doing the solo, So that's why you see a lot of fusion players or jazz players, they start like kind of understanding what is going on, like just play one note, 2 notes, and the chord tones, and understand what's happening, and then you start exploring, and then you listen to the other musicians and see what they're playing, and then you go from there. I think that's the way I would do for a song, like listen a lot the part without playing the guitar. Another question here from Jimmy G's. Hey Kiko, awesome channel. Thank you. Thank you. I struggle learning all the notes on the fretboard. Yeah, I know. Do you have suggestion on learning all the notes on the fretboard? From Winnipeg, Canada. All right, Jimmy. All right, so I did a video about the octaves, so I will show you this. One thing that you can will be helpful is like to memorize some shapes and patterns of the octaves, right? So if you have the G here, right? Because you know the chord, you know this is G. Then you learn the octave. So you learn this shape, and then the other octave here, right? And then from there you have this G and G. So this shape, and then you have this shape. And then you have this shape, this. You can play like this. And you have this G because it's here. So if you learn the shapes, that's the first thing you should do. Because now you have G, 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 G. Right? So one thing you need to know is like the notes of the open strings. Right? So E, A, D, G, B, and E. You have to memorize that. And also you have to memorize that from B to C is half step, from E to F is half step, and then all the other ones are whole steps. So with that information, you can count and discover the G note, right? So E to F half step, and then F to G whole step. Now you know the note G, and now you can go and find all the G's on the fretboard. And then you can do this with C. And then, okay, A sharp, B to C half step, so C is here. So now, so you start finding, right? So start finding the C's, and then of course you play this a bit every day, and then our brains are wired to recognize patterns. So if you do this every day, you will at some point like recognize the patterns, you know, the shapes, and then it's gonna be easy and faster to, okay, I know this G, so I can find the G here. Ah, this is G, this is G, this is G, and then, you know, and yeah, so it's gonna be easier to find the notes. It takes time. It takes time. You know, you can also do horizontally counting. You know, E and F sharp and G sharp, A, and then just name a note. Okay, D in the second string. Okay, D in the second string. So B, C, D. Oh, it's here. Great. Can you find other D's? D is here, and then you can use the shape, you know, the shape formations, and then to find the other D's. And then you just randomly say like C sharp in the G string. So C sharp, G string. So C is here, we know already. That's the C, G strings, sharp, right? Or you could go G sharp, A sharp, B, C, and C sharp. So, you know, if you do this as an exercise, as like a brain game, you know, at some point it's gonna be fast like this, and you're gonna be able to find all the notes on the fretboard, right? Another one here from Op Tunsai is a long question. So, what is your process for writing down riffs? Do you take a pen and paper and just write them down? Do you use some kind of software? What are your suggestions? All right, so I like, you know, of course, software, you know, like Cubase, Pro Tools, Logic. You can write the riffs there and then put you know, some you know, drum machine. I use the Superior Drummer, so I can write a riff, try to find a cool groove or program a cool groove for the riff. That's a way to do it, you know, but on a daily basis, I use a lot the phone, recording the ideas. So let me grab the guitar. So let's say you play something like you know, something like this. And if you write, it's gonna be 3-5-2-4, you know, 3-5-2-4, but you don't get the vibe, you know, the vibrato, the way you're muting, whatever, the, you know, the tempo. So that's why recording, mainly for rock and metal, because it's all about the way you play and not much the notes. So yeah, so I would record. I recommend recording on a phone or straight to the software, you know, like, and then using a Superior Drummer or some other, you know, putting a bass and other virtual instruments to make a song complete, you know. But just to have the ideas, I would suggest the phone. Keep everything in one place would be a important thing too, because if you start writing in papers or recording in different devices, then that maybe things will get lost. So having a specific app that you save your ideas on the phone, your specific folder on your computer for your ideas, and if you like to write stuff, a dedicated notebook for your song ideas. That's my suggestion, but I do prefer recording on the phone. That's another thing also. When you record the audio of the moment you're having an idea, and then when you listen again, it kind of takes you to that day. You know, let's say you can hear, you know, sometimes I'm having an idea backstage, so I can hear the noise of the backstage, you know, voices, you know. Sometimes I'm at home and I can hear the noise of the kitchen or kids and things like that. You can feel like, oh, this was late at night. This was in the morning. I came from a run and I was having this idea. I came to the hotel and I start playing. You kind of remember the whole thing, and that helps you to take you to that place, to that moment that you felt inspired. So the recording for me is a great thing. And then on paper, it's not the same thing. Yeah. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Subscribe to the channel, leave your questions, and see you in the next video.